Hi everybody, welcome to CYC and welcome to our episode of Heroes Forever. I want to remind you to follow us on social media, so that's Facebook and YouTube and the website. My name is Carol and we have with us here today.
Hi, my name is Steven. Hi, my name is Anastasia.
And this is our show, Heroes Forever. I want to remind you guys why we chose the name Heroes Forever. So we chose this name because the heroes that we hear about in the other world, they are only temporary. Soon enough, we forget about them and we move on with our lives and they are no longer part of our community. But the heroes that we have in our church and the heroes we talk about here today, guys, in our show, they are heroes forever. Their stories go on in eternity because they are a part of God. So some of the stories we're going to be talking about, guys, they happened in year 2000. What year are we in now?
2020.
Yeah, 2020. This was almost 2,000 years ago, but their stories still live on because they are a part of God. Okay? So today we are going to be talking about Saint Anthony. Do you guys know the story of Saint Anthony?
No.
No? Okay, that's good because we're going to be talking about him. So Saint Anthony, guys, here's a cool fact. He was the first monk. And he is the father of monasticism. Do you guys know what monasticism is?
No.
No? Okay, so monasticism is like the action of being a monk. So just like a priest, he participates in priesthood, a monk participates in monasticism. And we call Saint Anthony, he is the father of monasticism because he was the first what? First what? First monk. First monk, okay. So we're going to talk about his story and we're going to talk about how he left everything behind to become a monk, okay? So are you guys ready to hear the story?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So Saint Anthony, when he was around 20 years old, he was very rich and his parents passed away and they left him a lot of money and they left him a lot of houses and he was very rich, guys, okay?
Okay.
And one time he went to church. He was very close to God and he grew up in the church and everything like that. He went to church and the priest was giving a sermon and the priest was talking about a specific verse. Anna, can you read for us the verse?
If you want to be perfect, go sell what you have and give to the poor, and you will have treasure in heaven, and come follow me.
Stephen, did you understand this?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
So all of you have to be really good to get a good price.
So you're selling the treasures you have on earth to have treasures where?
In heaven.
In heaven. Good job.
Yeah, heaven.
So that's what the verse said, right? It said, give up everything you own, sell it, and give it to the poor, and then come follow me. That's Jesus talking. So come follow Jesus. And you will have treasures in heaven. So what does that mean? That the things we have now, they don't matter. It's the things that we're having in heaven, okay? And they're not really things, but it's more the time we're spending with God and the praises we're giving to God and all of that, okay? So Saint Anthony, because he had a lot of money and he had a lot of houses, he felt like God was really telling him to obey this verse. So he did exactly that, guys. Can you imagine? He sold everything he had. He gave all the money to the poor. He gave all his houses to the poor. And he went and walked into the desert and he decided he's going to live in the desert. It's crazy, right?
That's weird.
Yeah, it's crazy. Can you imagine giving up everything you own?
No.
No? No family, no technology, no anything. Can you imagine that, Anna?
No.
No, we love our things, right? We love to have our phones, we love our technology, we love to have lots of clothes. But he gave all of that up to be with God. And he was actually like the first person to do that. He's the first person to leave everything behind and go live in the desert. And that's why we call him the first monk. Okay. So after he did that and he lived in the desert, there were like a few fathers or elders that lived nearby, and they were also very close to God, and he would go to them all the time because he wanted to learn from them. He was very humble, and he would just, as much as he can, like anywhere he can learn more about God and learn more from anybody, he would go and he would learn from them. And he did that for a few years, okay? And then eventually he decided he wants to live his entire life only with God, and he doesn't want to interact with anybody. So he ended up like leaving even the elders that he was living with, and he ended up going alone in the desert, like very deep in the desert, literally living all alone with nobody around him. Can you imagine that, Anna?
No.
You're not talking to anybody.
I like friends, and friends won't be there, so that'll be sad.
Yeah, we love to hang out with friends. Can you imagine that, Steven?
No, I like to play games and technology.
Yeah, we love technology, we love games, but he gave up everything, even interactions with people. All he cared about was spending time with God. All he cared about was pray. So that's all he did all day long. Prayed, read the Bible, spent time with God. That's everything he did. And actually later on, Saint Anthony, he had a disciple, and his disciple's name was Saint Athanasius, okay? So Saint Athanasius, he became like a pope later on, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit, but he was Saint Anthony's disciple, and he kind of told us some of the things that Saint Anthony was going through at that time when he was living in the mountains. So when he was living all alone, the devil was fighting him a lot, because the devil was very upset that Saint Anthony was spending so much time with God. So he would a lot of times the devil would appear to him. Can you imagine that? That's so scary. Yeah, the devil would appear to him. He would try to tempt him. He would remind him, like Saint Anthony had a little sister that he left back home, where he was born. So he would remind him of his sister, and he would try to tempt him with anything to get him to go back home. So Saint Anthony was having a lot of fights from the devil, and he would appear to them. Sometimes they would physically fight and things like that.
Okay.
But yeah.
Oh, wait, 1 minute. To be honest, a devil appearing to you, that would be kind of cool, but also kind of scary, since it's a devil.
It's terrifying. It's not necessarily cool, but it's crazy, right? It's something we never think could happen. Where we're so used to always being safe with our parents and being safe with our friends, right?
Did he see God?
So I don't know, Stephen. We don't know that for sure. The story doesn't really tell us, but we can only imagine, right? We can think about it. I'm sure that just like Saint Anthony was seeing the devil and the devil was appearing to him, I'm so sure that God would appear to him and he would strengthen him also. And we can only think about the saints that are very close to God and are spending all of their time with God. We can only imagine what they see, right? I don't know for sure, but I think so. What do you think? Do you guys think he was able to see God, God would appear to him?
I think so.
Saint Anthony at the time started founding monasteries all over Egypt, so that way the monks could get together and live there together. Okay. So Saint Anthony left the desert he left twice for 2 reasons, okay? So the first reason he left the desert was that at the time, Christians were being persecuted, they were being killed for their faith. And Christians were not very liked back then. A lot of the rulers and the emperors, they wanted to kill them and get rid of them. So there was a lot of the Christians were suffering at the time in Egypt. So Saint Anthony left the desert to go and assist the martyrs that were out dying and things like that. So he was strengthening the Christians, encouraging them to keep going. Because you guys can imagine, right? If Christians are being killed, can you guys imagine that today someone comes and says all of the Christians are going to get killed?
I can't imagine that.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
And some people might be tempted, almost in their hearts, they're going to say, okay, I'm not going to be a Christian anymore, so I don't get killed, right?
Yeah.
You can think that some people will say that?
Yeah, but to be honest, I wouldn't even believe him, because how could he has the ability to kill every Christian?
So yeah, they were very powerful kings and very powerful emperors. They did have the ability. They had big armies and big soldiers and things like that. And they would ask them to go out and kill all the Christians. So it did happen. But Saint Anthony, like, he would strengthen them, he would tell them to keep going, and that's why he went, because he went to encourage the Christians to keep going. Saint Athanasius, he was Saint Anthony's disciple. Like, he would go to him all the time, and he would like try to learn from him. So at that time, Saint Anthony and Saint Athanasius, they went together because there was a heresy at the time. So do you know what a heresy is?
No.
Okay, so a heresy is, some people can sometimes like take verses from the Bible or come up with ways that like they think they're teaching correct teachings, but they're really like very wrong teachings, and they're not like aligning with our faith, and they're not aligning with the things that Jesus told us. Okay? So a lot of people can sometimes like go and believe these heresies, but they're really like almost like lies. They're not true Christianity, okay?
Oh, Carol.
Yeah?
Does the devil know what he is doing is wrong?
Probably. I think he knows.
To be honest, like the bad people think what they are doing is good, but but we are the opposite. We are the good people, so they think we are the bad people. So I think like the devil, he thinks God is the bad guy.
I don't really know what the devil thinks, but you know, it doesn't really matter, because we know we have the correct faith, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter like what they throw at us, just like Saint Anthony. It doesn't matter what tempted him. It doesn't matter like what heresy he was trying to fight. It doesn't matter what temptation the devil was giving him, right? He was always reliant on God. So that's what we always have to keep in mind, okay?
Okay.
So we said, Anna, can you tell me, what is a heresy?
A heresy is like when people like say verses, but they're trying to say them like make them up, but they're really wrong and they think it's right.
Right, so they take like almost like a verse from the Bible and they take it on its own. They don't take the full story around it, and they build this whole like lie around it, or like wrong teaching basically. So a heresy, simply stated, is a wrong teaching, okay? So there was this really big wrong teaching at the time, and a lot of people were following it, and a lot of people were believing it, and it's a problem because it's not true Christianity. It's not correct faith. Okay? So imagine like someone comes and tells you something crazy about Jesus, and some people went and believed it. So Saint Anthony and Saint Athanasius, like, they decided that they're like, and a few other people, but mainly them two, they went and they decided that we can't have this heresy like spreading in the church and like attracting a lot of Christians. So they went to fight the heresy and fight for the true faith. Okay?
And also like I think when they do it, they just want people to think they're the correct people.
Yeah.
They want people to love them, not other people. They want to be the group of the good.
You're right. Some people like come up with these things because they want to make themselves popular. They think that I'm the right person and all the other people are wrong. So you're right. But yeah, so Saint Anthony and Saint Athanasius, they went together and made sure to defend the faith, okay?
Okay.
And then eventually, like, they went back to the monastery, and Saint Athanasius, actually, guys, eventually he became Pope. So can you, like, that's how great Saint Anthony was, that even like his disciples that were very close to God, he became the Pope. You guys know like who the Pope is, right?
Yeah.
No.
You don't know who the Pope is? So the Pope is the person who is kind of like on top of the church, and he's like the leader of the church, and he kind of like guides us, and we seek him for guidance and we ask him questions. So he's basically like the leader of the church.
Oh, okay.
And he responds to God right away. God guides him.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's not our leader instead of God, but like God is always our true leader, but sometimes God guides him, so he puts people in charge so that we have order. Okay?
He's like the leader to like help the place. Like,
yeah, he's kind of like helping keep order in the church. But yeah, so Saint Athanasius, like his disciple, he became the Pope at the time. And then eventually, guys, Saint Anthony like spent the rest of his life in the desert and as a monk, and he ended up passing away. And when he was very old and almost about to die, like he had a few disciples that were gathered around, and he told them like final pieces of advice. He told them like, don't worry about the devil, keep like believing in God, trust in him, and things like that. So guys, I'm gonna see if you were paying attention, and I'm gonna ask you some questions about the story, okay? Are you ready?
Okay.
Okay, so let me see. How old was Saint Anthony when he went to the desert, Anna?
Oh my God.
He was like 20, 21.
Yeah, he was probably
26.
We don't know exactly the number, but he was probably around 20 years old. He was young still.
Yeah.
Who was his disciple? Do you remember?
And
Saint Athanasius.
Athanasius.
Yeah, Saint Athanasius. It's a hard name to say. They went together to fight what? They went to
I don't know what it's
I got-
called, but I know what it is.
Devil? He went to fight the...
No, so
No,
Saint
no.
Anthony and Saint Athanasius, there was like a very big what? What's the word?
War?
It's
No,
a
I know what it is,
Okay,
but I
what
don't
is
know
it?
what it says. Like the meaning. I know the meaning, but not how it's said.
okay. So they went to fight a heresy. What is a heresy?
It's when like they pick some verses, but not all of it, and add different
Meanings.
like meanings.
Yeah. So it's like wrongful teaching. Who used to appear to Saint Anthony in the desert and like fight him?
The devil.
The devil. Good job. Okay, you guys were paying attention. I'm so proud of you. Okay, let's go over the memory verse. Okay, so Anna has the memory verse. Can you read it for us again? The first one.
If you want to be perfect, go sell what you have and give to the poor, and you will have treasure in heaven, and come follow me.
And this is Matthew 19:21. Okay, good job, guys.
Okay.
All right, thank you everybody for following us today with our episode. Watch our next episode next week. Bye.
Bye.